Chapter 2. Born a Slave. Harriet Tubman was born Amarinta Ross in about 1820. As a child, she was called Minty. Later, she took the name Harriet after her mother, who was called Old Red. Harriet was born a slave on a tobacco plantation in Maryland. She and her family were the property of a man named Edward Brodess. That meant they had little say over their own lives. They could even be sold and separated from each other. Harriet's family lived in a small cabin near the master's house. It had no windows and only a bare earth floor. The family slept on beds made of straw. They used rags for blankets. They didn't have much to eat. Harriet didn't go to school. Slaves weren't allowed to learn to read or write. Instead, she helped her mother cook. She carried buckets of water to the slaves working in the fields. She picked insects off tobacco plants. When Harriet was 7, she was sent to work for a neighbor, Mrs. Cook. Mrs. Cook made Harriet wind jar all day. Sometimes the jar broke. Then Mrs. Cook got out the whip. "You stupid girl," she yelled. "I'll show you what real work is." Mrs. Cook sent Harriet to work for Mr. Cook. Day after day, Harriet stood in the swamp, checking muskrat traps. Finally, she got sick, and Mr. Cook took her home. When she was well, Mr. Brodess sent her into the tobacco fields. In the fields, slaves worked long hours in the hot sun. If they didn't work fast enough, they were beaten. It didn't seem fair to Harriet. Sometimes she looked up at the sky and watched the birds flying north. She promised herself that one day she too would fly north to freedom.